When you feel like it's all over, this is just the beginning. Imagine living in a reality where rejection doesn't define you, where your worth doesn't depend on external validation, a perspective where rejection is seen not as a failure but as a blessing. It may sound strange, but to understand, we must first delve into the world of Stoicism and discover how this ancient philosophy can transform our relationship with rejection. Following this path, in the next few minutes, we will embark on a journey where we will uncover the wisdom of the Stoics and how to apply it in our daily lives. I invite you to keep listening and discover why rejection, far from being a curse, can be a true blessing for you. Stay until the end and pay attention to the practical part of this video, the perception of rejection through a historical lens. Every time we experience rejection, it's not the act itself that hurts us but how we interpret it. This is a fundamental premise in Stoicism. If we could see the scene from above, like spectators in a theater, we would only see one person saying no to another. But in the mind of the rejected person, this no turns into a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. I'm not good enough. What did I do wrong? Why don't they want me? With its penetrating wisdom, Stoicism tells us, people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. In this light, rejection, like any other external event, is essentially neutral. It doesn't have intrinsic positive or negative value, it's simply a fact. Our emotional response, whether pain or joy, is a product of our interpretation. Reflecting for a moment on a famous quote from Marcus Aurelius, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it, and it is in your power to wipe out this judgment. Instead of seeing rejection as a verdict on our worth, we can see it as a simple response, a different perspective, or even an opportunity for self-learning and growth. Seneca, in his letters, presents a revolutionary idea: gold is tried by fire, a brave man by strong men. If we adopt this perspective, rejection ceases to be a barrier and becomes a challenge, an invitation to question our own judgments, strengthen our resilience, and find a deeper purpose in our lives. With the tools that Stoicism offers, we can transform this experience into a source of strength and wisdom. In the next chapter, we will discover exactly how to do that. Rejection that propelled Thomas's success. Sometimes, we encounter an obstacle, a wall, a denial in front of us, and the challenge of rejection looms large. But have you ever considered that behind that wall, there may be a treasure waiting to be discovered, a world of possibilities, learning, and strength? The Stoics have a unique way of looking at the world. While many see calamities, they see training. When most people get discouraged, the Stoics grow stronger. This perception allows them to face any adversity with equanimity and courage, and yes, that includes rejection. Think of the act of training in a gym. You subject your body to resistance, to an obstacle, but with each lift, your muscles break to regenerate and become stronger. Viewed through this lens, rejection becomes the resistance that, when faced properly, will strengthen our character and resilience. If you still have doubts, consider the lives of great historical figures who faced rejection in ways most couldn't imagine. Take, for example, Thomas, the inventor of the electric light bulb. He said he failed over 1,000 times before creating a working light bulb. Every time he faced a failure, a rejection of his ideas and prototypes, he didn't give up. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Edison used to say, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Another inspiring story is that of J.K. Rowling, the author of the globally famous Harry Potter series. After facing multiple rejections from publishers who didn't see potential in her manuscript, she finally found one that did. But what would have happened if Rowling had let those rejections define her worth as a writer? Both stories show how rejection, far from being an end, can be the beginning of something extraordinary. Rejection can be the catalyst that propels us to success, as long as we know how to approach it. In this historical perspective, rejection invites us to face it, challenge it, and engage in dialogue with it, because in that dialogue, we will find the keys to unlock its lessons and grow as individuals. So, the next time you face a no, think of Edison, think of Rowling, think of all those who saw in that no not as a final answer but as an opportunity to explore new paths and possibilities. Are you ready to embark on that journey? How to deal with rejection, historical tools for everyday life. What would you do if you had a tool that allowed you to face any challenge with serenity? If you could confront adversity directly and say, "I hear you." Welcome to the historical toolkit for dealing with rejection. First, let's explore the dichotomy of control, a concept proposed by the historical philosopher Epictetus. It invites us to divide the world into two categories: what is under our control and what is not. Now, think about rejection. You can't control how someone feels or thinks about you. The answer is no. But you can control how you react to that rejection. This distinction frees us from the burden of trying to manipulate the external world and gives us the power to work on our internal world, on our response. When we face a no, instead of asking why we were rejected, we should ask what we can learn from it. Let's take it a step further. The Stoics practice something called indifference. It's not about ignoring your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about not being dominated by them. Imagine your emotions are like the wind, they can blow strongly, but you, like a sturdy tree, remain firm, allowing the wind to pass through your leaves without uprooting you. Passing emotions like pain or frustration in the face of rejection are like this wind. Recognize their presence, but don't let them topple you. After any experience of rejection, it's essential to engage in self-analysis, not to blame yourself or find faults, but to understand and learn. Why did you feel what you felt? Is there an underlying belief influencing your reaction? By doing this, you're opening a dialogue with your inner self, discovering areas of growth, and adjusting your perspective. Finally, let's talk about practical exercises. I suggest 2 challenges you can start implementing today. The first is the daily historical challenge. Set aside 5 minutes every night to reflect on your day. Was there any rejection or challenge? How did you react? What did you learn? This daily practice will help you become an observer of your emotions and behaviors, providing clarity and self-awareness. The second challenge is to face rejection in the coming week. Confront something you fear. It could be something small, like asking for a discount in a store, or something bigger. The goal is not to get a yes, but to face the fear of rejection and learn from the experience. Rejection is ultimately one of life's many facets. We can't avoid it, but we can choose how to face it. With the historical tools in your arsenal, rejection can shift from a frightening monster to a gentle mentor, always ready to teach and guide you toward a stronger and wiser version of yourself. Now, with these tools in mind, imagine how empowering it can be to face any challenge, from the subtlest rejection to the deepest obstacles. Armed with historical wisdom, you are prepared not only to survive but to thrive. Benefits of rejection from a historical mindset. Sometimes, the universe has mysterious ways of teaching us. Rejection, though perceived as a cold and desolate shadow, can be one of our greatest allies. Allow me to show you how. When we are rejected, our character is tested, just as a sword is forged with fire and a hammer to gain strength. Similarly, our character is strengthened when we face rejection and choose to learn from it instead of falling apart. Herein lies the sacrifice, the strengthening of our resilience and character. Imagine being a person who becomes stronger, wiser, and better prepared for future challenges with every no they receive. It's like turning every stone on the path into a step toward a higher version of yourself. But what if this rejection were actually a sign that says there might be another path, better aligned with your purpose and goals? Here, we come to the second benefit. Rejection gives us the opportunity to reevaluate and adjust our paths. Instead of seeing it as a closed door, we can see it as a sign that says, this is not the place, but something better is waiting for you. Maybe that job you didn't get led you to discover a passion you didn't know about. Perhaps that no in a relationship guided you to a deeper and more meaningful connection with another person, or, even more importantly, with yourself. Speaking of deep connections, we arrive at the third benefit, the stimulation of self-awareness and personal development. When we face rejection, we are forced to look in the mirror, to question our beliefs, actions, and desires. It's a call to introspection. Why did this hurt me so much? What part of me feels insecure? Which values are truly important to me? Through these questions, we not only discover who we truly are but also how we can grow and develop on this journey. In this brief but deeper journey through Stoicism, we navigated the waters of this ancient philosophy, discovering how it can illuminate our path today. We understood that, painful as it may be in the moment, rejection is a silent teacher inviting us to grow, strengthen our character, and reevaluate our life's paths. Rejection, when seen through a historical lens, is not a sentence but an opportunity. I invite you, dear listener, the next time you encounter rejection, to see it from a new perspective. Consider this experience not as a punishment but as a disguised blessing, a gift that, when accepted with wisdom and courage, can lead you to unexpected corners of self-awareness and growth as you continue on your personal journey. I encourage you to keep exploring and adopting historical principles in your everyday life because, at the end of the day, every challenge, every no, every obstacle can be the fuel you need to ignite the flame of your evolution and self-realization. So, with an open heart and mind, face each day as a new opportunity, a new chapter where you can be the author of your own story, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. If you've made it this far, allow me to thank you for your time and attention to this video. Before you go, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. On the next screen, you'll find 2 videos that I believe you'll enjoy. Stay in peace, and until the next video.